Hey! Wuthering Waves has dropped another feedback survey, and the community has wasted zero time diving in. Players are loud, opinionated, and frankly, tired. Everyone's filling out that survey not just to tick boxes, but to vent months of pent-up feedback that's been simmering since the last patch. And honestly, it's fascinating to see where people draw the line between disappointed and completely done. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyong lahat? There's so much to love about Wuthering Waves, but equally so much room for improvement. This is the moment to actually use the survey properly. Don't just tick dissatisfied. Take a second to explain why. This time, Koro is genuinely giving players space to voice their thoughts, and judging by community discussions, people are taking that seriously. Many are praising the story's emotional beats and world building, yet also pointing out how the world feels too empty, the events too repetitive, and the combat content almost neglected. Wuthering Waves isn't a bad game, it's just stuck in a frustrating state of stagnation, much like your unlucky pulls for Chalisa and the 3.x characters. Getting a massive 24% discount on Loot Bar is a great way to keep your top-ups cheap and safe. Loot Bar offers cheaper than in-game top-ups, and if you use my link in the description, you can get an extra 10% off your first Lunite subscription, Battle Pass, or refill purchase. Trusted by gacha fans for their reliability and customer service, they're rated near perfect on Trustpilot. DIY mobile top-up means you get your discounts without giving your password. I know because I use them. So if you're planning to pull, this might just be your wallet's best friend. Hit that link, save big, and help support the channel. Now back to the video. Let's get something straight. The story content this patch? Fire. Most players agree the writing, cutscenes, and emotional beats are at an all-time high. But once you're done with the main quest, the momentum dies. There's not much else to keep players engaged beyond dailies and routine farming. So while story quality gets a solid A, gameplay engagement gets a shaky C-. A lot of players specifically flag content quantity as their biggest issue. Insufficient content, too short playtime, nothing new to grind. These phrases popped up over and over in survey screenshots. And it's not just about wanting more fights. People want variety. They're asking for puzzles, hidden side quests, and exploration tools that make the overworld feel alive again. Some even suggested adding mechanics like farming for keys to unlock hidden quests, similar to the Sun's casket system. That's the kind of creativity the community is hungry for. Another major thread in the feedback is about combat. Players are begging for more combat-oriented events. They want Koro to study feedback from events like Dreaming Deep and Gateway and use that data to evolve the combat system. It's a combat-heavy game at its core, yet the recent patches have been oddly calm. Too calm. The community's message is clear. Stop sidelining combat content. Bring the challenge back. Then you have the smaller but surprisingly passionate requests. Some players want the camera auto-correction during fights because it keeps zooming in too close. Others want the return of the hype and energy that defined earlier patches like 2.2, when every update felt like an event. Right now, Wuthering Waves feels like it's coasting through its late 2.0 cycle, which isn't unusual for gacha games, but still risky. When patches go quiet, players wander, and competitors like DNA Abyss or Chaos Zero Nightmare are right there waiting to snatch their attention. That's why many players suspect Koro is already shifting resources to 3.0 development, which makes sense. But even if that's true, it doesn't excuse leaving the current version to drift. Some suggest hiring more live team staff to handle mid-cycle patches while the main team focuses on new zones. Otherwise, the cycle continues. Hype, drop, silence, and a mass exodus until the next big thing. Now, let's look at the big community wish list that's circulating again. It's almost a manifesto at this point. Bring back the brightness slider, improve FPS on all platforms, add UI customization, let us access the inventory inside farming domains, show buff icons properly, add visible pull counters, make sigils obtainable, and add cosmetic rewards from events. That's just the start. They also want character ascension rewards, more 4-star weapons with unique gimmicks, boss material synthesis, one-click upgrades, echo merging with selectable Sona sets, and even training dummies to test rotations. And then there's the dream feature, a proper guild system. It's one of the most requested additions for years now, and it could be a massive boost to long-term engagement. Imagine co-op raids, boss rushes, and community-driven challenges that keep people logging in even after they've cleared story content. Wuthering Waves already experimented with co-op boss fights before, and players loved it. Turning that into a permanent endgame system would be a huge win. I know the pandemic is long gone, but my God, why is the co-op system awful? It is practically non-existent, and Koro hasn't made it interesting or rewarding enough to encourage players to do it. Another popular idea is roaming bosses or random phantom echo encounters across the map. Players want unpredictability again. They want to feel like logging in means discovering something new, not just repeating a farming loop. Even something simple like an absorb all nearby echoes function could streamline gameplay and make exploration smoother. And then there's the never-ending frustration about echo leveling and management, a topic that refuses to die because it's genuinely exhausting. Why does enhancing echoes feel like a slot machine that demands an entire warehouse of tubes just to get one decent roll? The RNG system feels less like progression and more like punishment. Players are begging for a feature that lets them fine-tune at least one substat, something to give a sense of control instead of blind luck. At this point, Wuthering Waves doesn't need another layer of RNG. It needs a quality-of-life overhaul that respects the time investment of its players. Of course, not every suggestion is realistic. Some want the ability to drop their soul level freely to farm high-tier rewards early, which would completely break progression balance. Others just want more waifus, fewer male characters, and more fan service, which, well, let's just say Koro probably has a more balanced vision in mind. But behind the memes and exaggeration, there's a real frustration that the patch pacing feels off. A lot of players admit the main story is the only reason they didn't give the update a full dissatisfied rating. It's carrying the experience right now. And while that's a compliment to the narrative team, it's also a warning sign. A great story shouldn't have to shoulder the entire game loop. What's interesting, though, is that this isn't unique to Wuthering Waves. Every live service gacha hits this lull before a major expansion. Genshin did it, Honkai Star Rail did it. The difference is how each developer handles it. Do they use the downtime to experiment and reward loyal players, or do they just let the game idle until the next big banner? That's the decision Koro is facing right now. At the end of the day, this whole feedback wave shows one thing: the community still cares. They're frustrated because they love the game and want it to thrive. And if Koro's smart, they'll listen. Because if Wuthering Waves nails its 3.0 update, fresh content, new systems, and better combat pacing, it could reignite the spark that made players fall in love with it in the first place. So what about you? Did you fill out the survey yet? Were you satisfied with this patch? Or are you also just waiting for 3.0 to save the game? Drop your thoughts below, because every bit of feedback matters. And if Koro's listening, let's hope they realize that sometimes the loudest complaints come from the biggest fans. If this video resonated with you, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for massive damage buffs. Ring the bell if you want to receive even greater gacha blessings. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in the next video drop. Goodbye!